Hi, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I am a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakobe, and almost 3 years ago we released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes it unique is that it's a heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out all of our music videos on my YouTube channel.
Open your eyes and take a look at our society. We wanna rise despite our decay of morality. How many more signs do we need until agreed that we are wrong?
And in the description of all these videos you will find all the information about where is the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via an email, on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can get one through Bandcamp as well. And today I'm going to review the debut album from Icon of Sin.
Music review. Music review.
I know that the thumbnail may be a bit misleading. This is a new heavy metal band with Bruce Dickinson behind the mic in everything but a name. This is a Brazilian heavy metal band fronted by Raphael Mendes, who rose to YouTube fame in like last year or two with his videos What If Bruce Dickinson sang for Van Halen, Kiss, Aerosmith or Halloween. And it's unbelievable how much he sounds like Bruce Dickinson. He sounds more like Bruce Dickinson than Bruce Dickinson himself, and it's just unbelievable. You know, you have people like Mark Martel, you know, where he's very similar to Freddie Mercury, but quite honestly I would be able to tell Freddie Mercury and him apart quite easily. When it comes to Bruce Dickinson and Raphael Mendes, like, no chance. And that's coming from a musician, from a singer, and from someone who considers Bruce Dickinson a huge idol and huge inspiration, and I've listened to him a lot, so I know his voice very well. Like, seriously, if somebody came to me with this record and said, this is unreleased material of Bruce, like from the late 90s or early 2000s, there would be no doubt. And I know that some people may criticize Raphael for copying Bruce Dickinson, but I don't really think it's that simple. It's not that you decide, okay, I want to be a carbon copy of Bruce Dickinson. No, that's not how it works. He is extremely lucky to have like vocal cords, the shape of his head and all of that stuff that kind of creates the resonance and the voice so that it sounds like Bruce Dickinson. So it's not really about wanting to sound like him rather than having all the dispositions in a way. So it's absolutely unbelievable, and the guy is getting quite a lot of recognition. Like Timo Tolkki is releasing a new Avalon album this year, and the single and the music video that was released from the record already features Raphael Mendes on vocals. And quite honestly, I think that if not on the next Avantasia record, Raphael Mendes is going to make his debut on Avantasia as well. Toby is definitely going to call him because he's been wanting Bruce Dickinson forever, and for reasons unknown, Bruce Dickinson just never became part of Avantasia. But I mean, having Raphael Mendes is not just having someone who sounds exactly like Bruce Dickinson, but having someone who sounds much better, because Bruce Dickinson is way beyond his prime and Raphael Mendes is basically at the beginning of his career. Okay, so without further ado, I've heard his album 6 times. Let's dive right into the review. The band Icon of Sin and their debut album Icon of Sin opens up with a track called Icon of Sin, and this is like the typical heavy metal. Road Rage sounds just like from '94, the Balls to Picasso record from Bruce Dickinson, both in style and the voice.
Road rage, out of the limits. Road rage, control us, be king. Road rage, surrender the exit. Road
Shadow Dancer could easily be on the late 90s Bruce Dickinson solo albums like My Chemical Wedding or The Accident of Birth. One of the few moments where maybe I would be able to say it's not Bruce Dickinson is the ending where Raphael goes for that high note. Bruce Dickinson is known for having this over-the-top vibrato on the higher notes, not just on the higher notes, but specifically on those. And Raphael goes for a much more straightforward note. But yet again, if I didn't know it's not Bruce Dickinson, I don't think I would really think about it like, oh, wait, there's something wrong. No, I would be like, wow, nice from him trying to do something different. Unholy Battleground continues similarly. There is this moment, however, where I think some of the vocals are off-key. Like there's this one moment, every time I was listening to it, I was like, what is going on there? And if I heard it, they must have heard it as well, so I'm not sure if that's the evidence of no autotune on the record or whatever. Also, this is, I think, the weakest track on the album. It has a pretty forgettable chorus, but there's this one moment that really makes it stand apart. And they actually had enough good sense to kind of end the track with that part as well, so that kind of saves it in my ears. Nightbreed, this is a song that they shot a music video for, and it's a great song. This could have easily been on Brave New World. Absolutely great delivery from Raphael Mendes, and yeah, a very catchy song as well. It's a great tune. Virtual Empire is slightly more in that speed metal / thrash metal territory with the double bass. It has a very anthemic chorus. There's also a nice bass solo, which I really appreciate as a bass player. Okay, Pandemic Euphoria. I could swear I've already heard Bruce Dickinson sing a song like this, something very similar. This also made me think about a pretty good concept for a video, and I would do it if I could. Imagine if somebody would call Bruce Dickinson and have a video with him, and he would pick some less known songs from his solo albums and from Iron Maiden, and he would sort of play him the tracks, like, can you remember what record it's on? Like, for example, I don't know, Hooks in You from No Prayer for the Dying or whatever. And he would put some of these tracks in between, and I think Bruce Dickinson would be like, I don't remember singing this song, I don't remember this one. I'm pretty sure he too wouldn't be able to, like, say it's someone else singing. Clouds Over Gotham is the long epic of the album with its running time at around 8 minutes. And there are a couple of Iron Maiden-like moments, but it's that dark symphonic chorus that really makes it stand apart. And quite honestly, if Iron Maiden made this track, I would be like, wow, what a great thing that they're trying something new. And it would be a very fresh sounding track from them. Also, I think that this would make a pretty good soundtrack for the movie about the Caped Crusader. There's this one moment where he holds a note very powerfully, and then he sort of lets his voice break, and he does that in the same way Bruce would. I mean, it's unbelievable how much he sounds like Bruce Dickinson, and I know I'm mentioning this way too much. I don't mean that as a criticism. For me personally, Bruce Dickinson, one of the best voices ever, especially since like late 90s until like late 2010s. He was just the best. And Raphael seems to combine that very gritty, raspy tone of the early 90s, like No Prayer for the Dying and Fear of the Dark, with that power and with that occasional clearness of like Brave New World and Dance of Death. And this is like the best version of Bruce Dickinson. And, you know, Bruce will never sound like this because he's over 60 years old. But I mean, listening to any new music with a voice like that, it's always a treat. And I just can't help it but love this voice, even though it's kind of hard to imagine Raphael as the face behind the voice, because, you know, I'm so used to seeing Bruce there. Another really great and catchy tune is Arcade Generation. It has a great riff, great chorus. The Last Samurai is like a typical heavy metal, but in the best way possible. Again, the delivery is just, it's so good. Another typical heavy metal tune is The Howling, but I do have to say at this point the record was losing me a little bit. I always say that if you make a record where basically all the music is the same, like here, I wouldn't really exceed the 50-minute mark, because then you just kind of get lost and all songs kind of blend together. And I think you can get away with the record being over an hour long only when there's a really big variety of the tracks. And here this would be a good moment to end the record before this track, just in my opinion. Same goes for Survival Instinct. I mean, it has a catchy chorus, cool track. Okay, to sum up, if you watch my channel, you know that I make reviews only about the records I'm genuinely passionate about and records where I have something nice to say about them. And I really did enjoy this record. It's been a while. It's been quite a while since I listened to like this traditional heavy metal record. And the added bonus of basically Bruce Dickinson in everything but a name behind the mic is unbelievable. I really enjoyed it, and I'm personally hoping that Raphael will do a lot of stuff in future with his voice. If you have never heard him, check this band out. If you like Iron Maiden, if you like Bruce Dickinson, this is a must. And be sure to check his YouTube channel where he has some pretty interesting covers. Did you like this video? If you did, and if you like the videos I'm making, consider supporting me by purchasing my debut album Pursuits in Life. Because I include audio samples, I usually run a risk of getting a copyright claim, meaning that I won't be able to monetize my videos, and whatever money is earned goes to the authors of the audio samples. I have no problems with that. These artists deserve all the support, but these videos are extremely time consuming, so the best and the only way how to support me is by buying my debut album. Have you heard this album already? You can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me, maybe whether you have heard about Raphael before or not, maybe whether this was your introduction to him. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find links to both in the description of this video below. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my worst to best series, and quite a lot of other reviews as well. Thanks a lot for watching.